know in the chat.
Yes, can you hear both of us?
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Samantha. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started. I know that there are plenty of sessions that other individuals want to hop in and out of. So, my name is Brandy Bennett. I am the creator and founder of Go Off Sis LLC, a lifestyle brand that focuses on the elevation of women to excel in all aspects of their life. I started this back in 2016, and each year has just continued to evolve, grow more. I am located in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I do that as my little side hustle brand. And then for my 9 to 5, I am a senior project manager for a pharmaceutical and clinical trial company. So that is a little bit about me. I'll pass it over to my beautiful Neo, Tommy.
Hi, everyone. I hope your day's going well. My name is Tamisha Oates, and I go by Tommy. I am the owner and CEO of an online boutique. We sell women's clothing, and I've been working on doing more custom pieces, so that's been fun. At Miss Tina's, we help you enhance your wardrobe and your confidence one piece at a time. I'm currently located in Atlanta, Georgia. I no longer have a 9 to 5, but I bartend sometimes, and I just work on Miss Tino's, and I do brand consulting on the side sometimes. So welcome. Definitely excited to have you all here.
Thank you, Tommy. And if you guys want to let us know about yourselves a little bit, small little synopsis in the chat, we would definitely love to hear that as we go into some of these statistics. So 35% of Black business owners are women. Honey, Black business owners. Women represent 35% of Black owned businesses compared to just 27% of female business owners of other races. Then also, although Black women are well represented among business owners, they earn disturbingly less money than others. One study found that Black owned business owners earn $24,000 compared to their white counterparts making $142,000. So huge difference. So what does that mean for us, especially within our community? Again, Black women have been starting businesses at the fastest rate, but we see the least amount of funding. So again, for me, that means betting on yourself. So today we're gonna deep dive into how we can continue to bet on ourselves as Black women in the business, and how really betting on yourself is the key to success. Tommy, did you want to start with certain tips or tricks that you want to dive into, or did you want me to go ahead?
We could just keep moving forward.
Say it again.
We could just keep going.
Okay, perfect. So I want to talk about three main topics that I feel are extremely important to have as a Black business owner, especially when it comes to betting on yourself. And I'll ask questions as well in the chat or kind of just out loud, just so that we can keep the conversation flowing. So, lack of support for me does not equate to success, right? So, when I first started Go Off Sis in the lifestyle brand in 2016, I had this vision in my mind like, oh, everyone is going to jump on the bandwagon. Like, I'm just going to have all these followers and this is going to just kick off. Like, it's just going to work. And so, I think for me, like within like the first year, I still kind of didn't know like what I wanted Go Off Sis to be or what I wanted my audience to be. But I knew that in my mind, I wanted this instant satisfaction of like, they call it clout now, but I just wanted people to support so quickly. And I had to understand, Brandy, if you're not um, rooting for yourself, how can you expect others to, right? So I think oftentimes individuals, especially Black women getting started in these businesses, we look at, oh, I don't have a large following account, or I don't have, all these likes or heavy on social media. To me, that's one thing that I had to remind myself. The lack of support from others does not equate success to me. Like if I wake up in the morning, I continue to love what I do as far as my brand, that is my success. So again, I have one quick question for you guys. Those that do have small businesses, do you feel as if you receive support from your family, friends, and community? And I will see if I can put that in the pose. Wait, actually, no. So again, the question is, those that have small businesses, do you feel as if you receive support from family, friends, or your community? And we also have the stage open. I believe we can invite someone to speak. Is that correct? Can we do that?
I think we can.
Okay. If anyone would like to jump in to say if they feel like they do receive support from their family, definitely let us know and we can loop you guys into our conversation.
And I'll definitely go ahead and answer first while we wait on someone to volunteer. So I would have to say I 1000% feel supported. And I think that goes a lot to my mother. My mom has always been my number one cheerleader. My mom always just, she always told me to be exactly who I am. She was never like, be shy, don't speak your mind. She was the exact opposite.
Yep.
And my mom and my auntie, they describe me a lot of the times as a person that never fit in any of the boxes. First, I'm the smallest person in the family, but I'm like the most dynamic, bubbly, just all over the place doing 1,000 things. So I feel like personally that really shaped me and molded me a lot into the young lady and the woman that I am, because I definitely always felt like my family was 10 toes, and that just helped me like my internal light just shine really light in every space that I'm in. So I definitely do feel supported all the time.
I love that. So I'm trying to read other comments from the chat. Read some, Tommy.
Yeah,
Having technical issues.
we have Samantha, not directly as clients, but they're supportive now that I've been 4 years in. So,
Congrats on the 4 years in.
yes, that's good. And you said you do photography and videography. Okay. They probably just had to see some of your content and your work ethic so that they can know who they need to book with. So I'm definitely glad that it's starting to pick up for you. And then,
Oh, at a good point. Community is growing. She's not where she wants to be. Sometimes she gets discouraged. So I will speak on that discouraging factor. I definitely feel like, the biggest discourager is the devil, to be honest. And oftentimes black women, we tend to experience imposter syndrome where we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I'm not in the right place. For me, one thing that I really try to focus on is changing those negative thoughts into positivity and saying like, you know what, instead of having a pity party, go work on some content, like, send out those emails. So really trying to make sure that I change the energy that I'm putting out into something positive. So I think that is extremely important. And this actually leads into my second bullet point in regards to rooting for yourself. Keep rooting for you. It will come through. Your idea and passion will be brought to life. The biggest thing I can say, honestly, and I'm a testament to it, is truly limit your excuses, right? I think oftentimes, just people in general, we tend to say, oh, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z, or I can't do this because, I don't have the time or the money. I think it's really important to know that, one, you don't need a lot of resources to get up and started, to be honest. You just have to have that dedication to whatever your small business is, right? And I think for me, because Go Offices is a lifestyle brand, I've never sold, well, I've sold something tangible, but what I'm selling is an experience, right? And I think it's important to know that to really have an effective business, you really have to work on building those strong relationships with the people that support you. So that's key to me, again, to limit your excuses. Tommy, what are some of the things that you do to continue to keep the work ethic for Miss Tino's?
definitely. And it's something similar to what you said, but I guess I kind of frame it differently. I always tell myself and I tell other people, don't convince yourself you're trying until you actually try. Sometimes people say, hey, did you do this? And I'm like, I mean, I tried it, but that could be me looking at it, or like dibble and dabbling. Like, don't convince yourself that you can't do something, that you're unable, that you're, you don't have the resources or the talent when you haven't really tried. Like,
Right.
exhausted your energy and your willpower and your ability into whatever project or thing that you're trying to do. So I feel like that's a lot of things. That's something that we do a lot. Is we give up quickly and we don't really try. So I feel like, don't say you're trying, don't convince yourself of it. Like, actually try and put the work in.
I like that. And going back to the whole convincing thing too, I think, and we talked about this a couple times on Sister Talk. It's a monthly virtual live that my sister and myself do on Instagram. We talked about how, like, oftentimes, like, we look for validation in other people, and the time that you're spending trying to convince someone, like, yes, like, this business is gonna work, like, you could be doing that for yourself. you know. So I think that it's truly key to, you don't have to convince anybody that, you know, you're a boss, a businesswoman. Honestly, you don't even have to tell anybody. You can come up with this great master plan inside your small little head, you
Yep.
know, put your head down, continue to work, and then say, look what I did, you know. So I think that's really important as well. And one thing that I want to ask you all, ladies, so like Tommy said, the biggest conversation is how we can continue to bet on ourselves. Because honestly, who better to bet on ourselves than us, right?
Mhm.
But as Black women, I think we move stronger in numbers, which is truly key. So I'm going to ask a couple questions. How can you continue to support Black women in your own community with their small business? Of course, you can buy their products, buy their purchases, but what else? What else can you do to go the extra mile to support them? So I'll say for me, what I can continue to do. If you guys look at my Instagram, I'm always posting somebody's flyer, right? And if it's a business, if it's a business that I don't necessarily know, I will charge them a fee for me to do any type of like social media ads or marketing on my page. But if it's someone like Tommy, I posted her boutique plenty of times, because it's important to me that, one, posting a flyer is free, right? Sharing, liking, commenting, those are all acts that you can do that don't cost you any type of money. Like Lemon said, word of mouth. You know, oftentimes people are so easy to say, well, I didn't like the way that she did this service, or that didn't, I didn't like the quality of that. You know, oftentimes I think it's important to really highlight the positive aspects, especially of a Black owned business. So that's one of the things that I do. I'm very big on social media, so I really try to make sure that I push out you know, events. I don't know how many times I posted the flyer for Gratitude for Black Girls, but
Right.
I really try to make sure I go hard for my core group of friends. And even if I don't know you, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Like maybe she needs somebody to go see her page. So that's what I continue to do. So what are some things that you all do? Samantha said share their information. Lemon, like again, mentioned word of mouth, spread the word to others. Tommy, what are some things that you continue to do to support Black businesses, Black
For
women businesses?
sure. One thing that I do very often to consumers and just people in general, I challenge people when they say negative things or have a bad experience because we've given Amazon 5,000 times to not
Ooh,
deliver our package in 2 days. So, I kind of challenge people where they're like, oh, well, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. I'm like, did you talk to them about it? Did you leave a review?
mm,
Are you being constructive? That's part of building and growing community as well. Offering that feedback and giving us and each other chances like we do for McDonald's and Amazon and Macy's, and I can go Fashion Nova. I can go
mm.
on and on because I know personally for me, a lot of people are saying, hey, I wonder how that will fit on me. And I'm like, do you email Pretty Little Things and ask them that? Or do you buy
Ooh.
it and return it? So I just feel like we have to be constructive and just kind of block out. I feel like another thing that a lot of people of color do, we swear people are hating on us.
Mm.
Like we swear, but a lot of times I feel like it's not that. It may be like you said, if you keep your mind positive and our energy positive and think, okay, maybe they really didn't like the shirt or that wasn't their style, or like for me, a limitation for my business, to be candid, is I only have like mostly small, medium, and larges. I
Cause
really
I
want
be
extra small and extra large, but it's just something we have to work on. So being able to understand that and take that, but not let that shift my focus or my work ethic, but focus on what I can, take the support how it comes, and keep, just keep your head up. So I feel like that's a couple ways where I try to support Black businesses.
Ooh, I definitely like what Kelly just said. I don't expect a Black owned business to give me a discount. I want to
Yeah.
support 100%. Okay, so that is a really, really, really good point. I don't know how many times, like when I did my first sister social event, people were saying, "Oh, well, do you have a discount?" I'm thinking like, well, like Tommy said, like you didn't walk up to Target and say, "Hey, can I get 10% off?" So I think that is extremely key, especially as I read the statistics. Black women-owned businesses make a significant amount less than their counterparts of other races. So I think that is extremely important. I'm very glad that you touched on that. And then one thing, back to what you said, Tommy, that I really like, and not everybody's hating on you, right? Like not everybody is out to get you, or, is trying to talk bad about whatever type of service that you're providing. Sometimes they really just want to give you constructive criticism. Take that, use it to make it better. When I did my first sister social event, which is For those that don't know, it's an event that is based in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's about 8 to 10 different individuals on a panel where we talk about entrepreneurship, real estate, just various different topics while we're all enjoying like a brunch, bottomless mimosas, DJ, female DJ. We're doing that this year again too. Shameless plug. So one thing that I would say is that there were a lot of things that kind of went wrong year one that have been definitely ironed out. But instead of me beating myself up, I took it and say, okay, you know what can I do to make this even better? Like, what can I do so that there's not any type of hiccup? So I really think it's key to take that criticism, like you mentioned, rework it, and then make a better plan. Alicia said, I buy family and friends items from Black businesses for holidays and birthdays and encourage them to do the same for others. I always emphasize. I like that.
I like that as well.
Those are really, really
I
good.
definitely do that too. Or like sometimes when I post stuff, I'm like, telling the guys, I'm like, how can I support? I'm like, buy it for your sister, your girlfriend, your mom. There's different ways that we can always be supportive of each other.
And I want to be respectful of time because we do have about 10 minutes left. But I definitely wanted to highlight the last two topics that Tommy and myself had. So the third point in regards to betting on yourself and how you continue to thrive as a Black business, be authentic and real behind what you do. I'm gonna say that one more time. Be authentic and real behind what you do. Many people will tell you how to act, what you should do, etc. But the real support will come from real people. So focus on that. One thing also, give back. The bigger my organization gets, the more I want to give back to my community and truly see an impact. So about the be authentic and real, right? Like those that know me, like Tommy knows me really well. My profile is on here, Lemon. So one thing that I've never tried to do is to, like Tommy said in the beginning, fit in a box, right? Oftentimes people will say, "Oh, Brandy, like you're too outspoken, like you say exactly what you feel." Right, those are characteristics that I never want to change about myself. And I think by me continuing to build my brand and being true to Brandy, I have gained authentic followers. There have been people who I've seen in the grocery store, and I'm gonna treat you just like I see my cousin. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, I'm always about trying to build those relationships and connections. And I will tell you, people will see straight through you if you are not being yourself, right? And I'm not saying go out and talk to everybody and their mama, but I'm just saying, like, if you're someone who is outgoing, if you're someone that's a little bit reserved, continue to be who you are throughout the entire time that you're building your brand, because people notice that, and people, they naturally gravitate to people who are truly themselves. So that is definitely what I wanted to speak on. And also too, giving back, right? So I would probably say, like, just within like the last like 2 years, I've really tried to frame my organization and say, okay, what else can I do additional to give back to my community? And I've been so like ready to be like, oh, I wouldn't leave Indianapolis. Like I've outgrown my area, but I haven't. Like I'm touching so many people within my community. I only feel like it's right to continue to give back. So last year we did a huge toy drive where we raised over $3,000, and we were able to donate to a women's shelter. And this year with Sister Social, we're doing two $1,000 book awards to give to younger girls who are going off to college or any type of additional education, where it be cosmetology school, something. We're giving something to help with them. So I think those are two really important: is be authentic and real, and give back. And then Tommy, I'll let you piggyback off of those two topics.
Okay, perfect. So personally, I would say when you get started, whether it's a business, an organization, just whatever you want to do, I feel like remember where you started, where and why you started, because that will just keep you passionate and motivated. So for instance, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I grew up in a low poverty area. I went to school out of state, and I did all those things, and I kept kind of going into new areas and ventures because I just knew I wanted to see something bigger and I wanted to do more. When I decided to start my business, I was like, I like dressing up. I like seeing other people dressed up, and I love to like compliment women and encourage them. So I was like, what is something that I could do where all that could come together and I can maybe make some money? So that's where Miss Tina's really came from. And doing that, there would be sometimes, like Brandy said, I do take feedback and I give it, but also I remember when, where, and why I started. So that keeps me to work and move forward, and it allows me to feel myself. So my mom my bestie. She always tells me, if you don't feel it, no one else is gonna feel it. So I have to do stuff that makes me feel good inside. Which if I do that and I'm feeling that, other people are gonna have no choice but to feel it because it's gonna be authentic and it's real. It's the real deal. So that's one. Another thing I would say is definitely be mindful of your circle and who you have around you. Just because if you're betting on you and you have, people that are doubtful, um, that it just won't help you progress necessarily. But also realize that when you're trying new things, like for instance, Black women starting all these businesses, and we're negotiating on our salaries, and this is not stuff that society thought we would do, or this is stuff that's unfamiliar to maybe your mother, or you know what I mean, people at school. So don't always think people are hating on you. It's just something that's not familiar, and your walk is not theirs, and their walk is not yours. So when you remember where you started and why, and you just continue to be authentic, I feel like it just all flows upwardly. And just focus on the positive, because again, things that you want to do don't sound good for someone else. It's not their walk, and it's not for them to understand. That doesn't mean that they're hating on you, or that they're speaking negatively on you. It's just you have to figure it out, lock in, and other people will buy in when it's real.
I really like that, Tommy. And that actually brings us to our last point about, everyone's walk is different and it may not be for you. So the last point that I had in regards to betting on yourself as a Black woman, especially in business, is all money is not good money. Okay, I'm gonna say that one more time. All money is not good money. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've called my sister and by Kelly, like they want me to do this event. Like, okay, she's like, "What's the rundown? Like, how will you be represented, right?" And there has been times where I have turned down a significant amount of money because the brand or the vision just does not align with what I'm doing, right? And it took me a while to be like, okay, I'm not gonna really promote that event because I would not do that or I would not go to that. So I think really staying true to who you are and understanding that it's okay to turn down opportunities. It's okay to not always be in the mix. I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna let y'all rock with that because that's not really what my brand is about. So I think it's really important to understand as women in general that like Tommy said, just because it's their walk of life, just because it's their lane, it doesn't have to be ours. And honestly, we don't have to owe anyone an explanation. You could say thank you for the offer, but I'm going to pass on this opportunity. So, as I mentioned, all money isn't good money. And then, Tommy, I'll let you piggyback off of that because we have about 3 minutes left.
Okay. I think actually let's just talk about our mantras because
Okay.
they were both really good.
Okay.
So mine was 1 second. I'm gonna go. This is like my all-time favorite scripture. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. I feel like that goes right exactly what we're talking about, betting on yourself. So I just know that God made me so specific. There's no way that Tommy should try to act like anyone else, or pretend to be something I'm not, because he made me so specific. So that is something that I live by. I say it every morning before my feet hit the floor because it just really speaks to me. And I like to share that with other people because a lot of people are so busy trying to be other things and let social media influence them. That's the current times. And we just have to remember why God made us how we are. And we need to just learn to love that and walk in that fully.
I love that, Tommy, and I'll go ahead and end with mine. Mine. So I have like two really. So my favorite is Philippians 4:13, but I also love Philippians 4:6. So Philippians 4:13 is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When I tell you that believing that scripture has been a process in itself, right? Oftentimes I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is too hard. Like, I'm not cut out for this. Even when I went, even transitioning into the senior project manager role that I'm in now, I'm thinking like, I don't know, like maybe I don't really know what I'm doing, or maybe I'm not really the one for this. But then that scripture was brought back into my head. It's like, no, like Tommy said, like you're built for this. You're created to complete this task. So I think really for me, really remembering that anything that I can do, I have to have God in it with me. So I am definitely glad that we touched on our mantras. If you ladies have any mantras, definitely put them in the chat or things that you live by. We would definitely love to see that. And then also before we hop out, I definitely want Tommy and myself to put our social media handles in the chat, and I want you ladies too as well. I want to make sure I can follow you all, make sure that we can continue to connect. One thing that I mentioned I'm big on is relationships, so I don't want this to, just to be gratitude for Black girls, and then I never see you guys again. So definitely make sure that you all put your social media handles in the chat. That way we can follow you. And yes, Kelly, always remember that what God ordains, He will maintain. If it's His will, it will happen in His time. Yes, I love that. Look, we got church on Saturday. I'm here for it. So Tommy, if you want to put your social media handle in the chat, okay, perfect. Let me put
Oh, I
mine
spelled it wrong. Cannot spell.
as well.
But yeah, that's our time. We definitely enjoyed this. We're glad that you all could log in with us and we could be a part of this event. Shout out to Tati. Definitely connect with us. We always on Instagram. You'll see both of us on there.
Both of us, you definitely will. So again, we just want to say thank you all. There are another session that is happening at 1 o'clock, so I want to be respectful of their time. Samantha, thank you for putting your Instagram in there. I'm going to actually let me see if I could just screen. Oh, Productions. Okay, perfect. I'll follow you on there. All right, thank you, ladies. Try to get those if you can get those Instagrams names in here so I can follow you all before we hop off and end our session. Trying to find Samantha's. Samantha, what's your actual Instagram?
I found it. I'll send it to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Can you send it to me? And then
Yeah.
Brittany Batty. Hey, Brittany. Oh, her balance. Oh, perfect. Here she is. Okay. All right, ladies. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Again, remember the best person to bet on is yourself.
Absolutely.
Bye, Tommy.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.